Hello viewers, I am Samira Ibrahim. Welcome to Standard Voice Television News Updates. A former special advisor on political matters to the President, Bola Tinubu, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, has said that the North will, in the next 6 months, take a stand on who to support for the presidency in 2027. He said no politician can win the presidency in 2027 without the support of the region. In a video interview he granted in Hausa language, Baba Ahmed, who appeared alongside a former executive secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Usman Yusuf, lamented the state of the nation and urged Northerners to resist divisive and deceptive politicians ahead of the next general elections. According to the former presidential aide, the North had suffered greatly during the Boko Haram insurgency, which affected all groups, Muslims, Christians, Fulani, Baju and others, highlighting the need for unity. He therefore warned against further marginalization of the North, noting that continued disregard for the region would have consequences. Baba Ahmed urged the northern region to look beyond identity politics, stressing that competence and integrity should guide voter decisions. The KATSINA State Police Command on Sunday said it has successfully foiled a kidnapped attempt along the Funtua to Gusau highway and rescued 10 kidnapped victims unhurt. The victims comprised 2 drivers and 8 passengers. Efforts are being intensified to ensure the arrest of the fleeing suspect as the investigation proceeds. In a statement on Sunday, the spokesman of the KATSINA Police Command, Abubakar Sadiq, said that on April 19, 2025, at about 2,135 hours, an information was received at the Faskari division that suspected armed bandit laid ambush at Marabar Bangori village along Funtua Gusau Road with intent to kidnap occupants of the 2 vehicles. Sadiq added that upon receiving the information, the patrol team attached to Faskari division mobilized and responded promptly to the scene, engaging the bandit in a gun battle. In a related development, the Zamfara State Police Command has successfully rescued 6 kidnapped victims during a swift search and rescue operation in its commitment to restoring peace and security across the state. In a statement issued by the Police Public Relations Officer DSP Yazid Abubakar, said a joint team comprising police operatives and community protection guards was on highway patrol along the Ankagumi Road when they discovered an ash-colored Peugeot 206 abandoned by the roadside, raising suspicions of the kidnapping incident. According to the statement, the security team promptly launched a coordinated search operation which led to the safe recovery of 6 kidnapped victims. They have since been reunited with their families. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency on Sunday said its operatives intercepted 500 grams of cocaine concealed in the pages of religious books and bound for Saudi Arabia at a courier company located in Lagos State. The NDLA Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, disclosed this in a statement released on Sunday, noting that the illicit drugs was intercepted in April 15th. He added that 2.8 kilograms of cannabis and a strain of loud were intercepted at another courier firm in Lagos on the same day. Babafemi said operatives of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency intercepted a shipment of cocaine concealed in 20 sets of religious books going to Saudi Arabia. Babafemi also disclosed that no fewer than 10 suspects were arrested during various operations carried out by its operatives across the country. Among the suspects was a suspected bandit supplier identified as Muhammad Mohammed, who was arrested in Kano, while another suspect, Muhammad Abdul Aziz, was arrested with 68 blocks of skunk. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, which initially reported 1 death during Saturday's rescue operation at the incident site, updated Sunday morning with news of 4 additional fatalities. The agency's permanent secretary, Olufemi Oke, said in a statement Sunday morning that 5 adult fatalities had been recovered and taken to the morgue so far. Apparently, the number of rescued individuals remained at 13, as reported on Saturday. Mr. Oke Osanyitolu said the survivors were receiving pre-hospital care. Mr. Oke Osanyitolu said all first responders remain on the scene to continue search and rescue operations. Further updates to follow. Report gathered that the building, which housed the popular Equal Rights restaurant, came crashing down around 8 a.m., trapping several occupants and passers-by. Eyewitnesses said the structure was undergoing construction work at the time of the incident. It was said to be undergoing construction work at the time of the collapse. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is advocating for mandatory drug testing for all prospective members of the National Youth Service Corps. The NDLA chairman, Buba Marwa, said the agency is tackling drug abuse by promoting drug testing in universities, communities, and among families. He spoke during a the trainer event organized by NDLEA in partnership with Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministry in Abuja on Saturday. The initiative aims to equip church leaders and community influencers with tools to educate youth, prevent drug use, and support families battling addiction. Represented by Ngozi Madubuke, NDLEA's Director of Drug Demand Reduction, Mr. Marwa said drug tests at NYSC camps would help deter substance use. He explained the tests will also enable timely support and intervention for those who test positive for drug during orientation. The program is part of the War Against Drug Abuse WADA campaign, aimed at reducing drug demand and building stronger support networks for youths. The policy has already been adopted by some universities and state governments and is gradually gaining wider acceptance. NDLEA supplies affordable test kits to schools and assigns trained officers to carry out drug testing procedures. Governor Alia of Benue State said 58 bodies have been recovered following the attack on 2 local government areas in the state by suspected armed headers. Reports gathered that the coordinated attacks in Ugondo community of Logo local government area and in Tuiluf and Bagri communities in Ukum local government area. The police said on Friday that 17 people were killed in the coordinated Thursday night attacks. However, the governor said on Saturday that the death toll had risen to 56. Mr. Alia spoke when he visited the affected communities. Speaking to journalists after the visit, the governor confirmed that so far 56 corpses have been recovered, 26 in Logo and 29 in Ukum. He said there was a possibility of the figure increasing in Ukum because the search for more bodies was still ongoing. The fight over grazing rights has led to several attacks by armed migrant headers on farming communities in Benue and other states like Plateau, Kaduna, and Taraba. On business news, Audio Jungle. Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria has projected that importers of petrol products in Nigeria may soon go out of business if they refuse to follow local refining trends. Quran stated this as the federal government ordered the return of the Naira for crude deal despite calls for its cancellation by the Depot and Petroleum Product Marketers Association of Nigeria. In an interview with newsmen, the publicity secretary of Quran, Echi Idoko, dismisses the claims by Depot's Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria that the sale of crude to local refineries in Naira affected the economy negatively. According to Idoko, the depot owners, who are primary importers of petroleum products, made the claims because they would not want to go out of business. He argued that those who own depots to store imported products will not want the refineries and the pipelines to function, as their functionalities would send them out of business. The Quran spokesman said appeals were made to the depot owners to re-strategize so as to remain relevant when Nigeria becomes a refining hub. However, Idoko said the importers remained adamant in the business of fuel importation, saying they will go out of business because refining has come to stay in Nigeria. On international scene, the United States would drastically reduce its diplomatic footprint in Africa and also scrap State Department offices dealing with climate change, democracy, and human rights, according to a White House order under consideration. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the New York Times, which first reported the existence of the draft order, had fallen victim of another hoax. However, a copy of the draft executive order viewed by AFP calls for full structural reorganization of the State Department by October 1st of this year. The aim, the draft order says, is to streamline mission delivery, project American strength abroad, cut waste, fraud, abuse, and align the department with an American first strategic doctrine. The biggest change will be organizing U.S. diplomatic efforts in 4 regions: Eurasia, the Middle East, Latin America, and Asia Pacific. The draft executive order obtained by AFP has not been discussed publicly by officials. However, it comes amid a flurry of moves by President Donald Trump to cut decades-old U.S. soft power initiatives and to question long-held alliances, including with NATO. The latest proposal under discussion follows the leaking to U.S. media of another proposed plan under which the State Department will see its entire budget slashed by half. In the latest draft plan, current offices dealing with climate change and human rights will be eliminated. That's the news update for today. I am Samira Ibrahim. Thanks for watching and do have a nice day.